It was the summer of 1911. In Rome, people were sipping their morning coffee, the city slowly waking up. It seemed like an ordinary day, but no one knew what was about to happen. That morning, the train station was filled with excitement. A wealthy family known as the Zanetti Company was launching one of the most luxurious private trains in Europe. A steam locomotive with 3 carriages, lined with silk seats and silver tableware, a symbol of wealth and elegance. Among the passengers were businessmen, aristocrats, a doctor, and a priest. All shared the same plan, to travel from Rome to Paris via Milan. As the train slowly departed the station, no one realized they were boarding a journey of no return. The first few hours of the trip went smoothly, but around 5:15 p.m., as the train approached the Lombardy Mountains, the weather suddenly changed. The train driver noticed a dense fog forming just before one of the mountain tunnels. Still, the train didn't stop. The reports from that day stated the conditions were not dangerous enough to cancel the trip. The train entered the Chimorra Tunnel, and it never came out. At the other end of the tunnel, a station worker stood waiting, watch in hand. The train was due to emerge at 5:20, but there was no sound, no smoke, nothing. For the first few minutes, there was only silence. Then panic. Railway workers rushed in with lanterns. The rails were intact, but there was no trace of the train, no sound of wheels, no smell of smoke, no coal dust. That night, search teams were brought in. The tunnel was excavated for hundreds of meters. Measurements were taken, but it was empty, as if no train had ever passed through. The next morning, engineers arrived. The press was there. The government remained silent, and everyone asked the same question. How can a train this large vanish without leaving a single trace? That day became the beginning of a phrase repeated for decades. The Zanetti train has never been found. The story spread quickly across Italy. Newspapers ran dramatic headlines: "Did the Zanetti train vanish into thin air? 17 passengers and a priest, gone without a trace." Rumors spread. Some witnesses claimed to have heard a strange humming sound around the tunnel that day. Others said they saw light bending in the mist, but none of these accounts led anywhere. 44 years passed. In 1955, in a small village high in the Guanajuato mountains of Mexico, local farmers heading to their fields at dawn saw 3 men walking toward them. The men were wearing old-fashioned suits. They looked confused, or even frightened. One of them asked, "Which way to the train for Paris?" At first the farmers thought it was a joke, but when one of the men pulled out a train ticket dated 1910, the mood changed. A few hours later, the men were gone. All that remained was the ticket. The story of the Zanetti train resurfaced. Paranormal researchers claimed the tunnel was a gateway through time. Some believed the train passed through an interdimensional rift. Quantum physicists dismissed the theory as impossible, yet they admitted not entirely irrational. A group of scientists measured the tunnel's electromagnetic field. It was nearly 100 times stronger than normal. It was as if time itself had bent there. Still, no one knows what truly happened inside that train in 1911. One theory suggests the brakes failed and the locomotive fell into a hidden cavity deep within the mountain. But no debris, no bodies, no evidence was ever found. The rails were spotless. Another theory claims the priest aboard the train was carrying a sacred object, something that might have created a form of energy tunnel, shifting the train's frequency into another dimension. Of course, these are only rumors. But the story doesn't end there. Over the years, similar disappearances have been reported around the world. In 1930, a mail plane in Canada vanished into the clouds. In 1978, an Australian pilot radioed, "There's a strange craft beside me," before disappearing from radar. And in the 1990s, miners in Ukraine claimed to hear a train passing through an abandoned tunnel, Teague, though there were no tracks there at all. Maybe the Zanetti train didn't crash. Maybe it simply moved into another time. And perhaps somewhere out there, it's still moving. Forever traveling through a moment frozen at 5:45 p.m. No evidence has ever been found. Everyone aboard vanished, completely. No clue, no answer, not even a trace of where they might be now. To this day, it remains one of history's greatest disappearance mysteries. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more striking and mysterious stories.